Hello folks, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to try and do something a little bit easier to sort of keep myself going along the path of somewhat low stress until at least Christmas. So today we're going to do a little bit of an update video on two decks, because there's not really that much wrong with either one of them, but yeah, I just figured I'll just try and keep my stress levels down so whatever's going on with my blood pressure can keep resolving itself. So the first deck we're going to do an update on is the Denon DR-M3, and before that I want to show off my recent acquisitions. I found some tapes at the thrift store earlier this week I thought you guys might want to see. Two of these were $1 each, the rest of them were absolutely free, so I thought it was a pretty darn good deal. But yeah, it turns out that 7 of them are the good shells, and the other ones are the plastic welded plastic welded garbage shells. Sorry, I'm still kind of waking up today. So, plastic welded shells include Rockwell, Taco, Animotion, and Bryan Adams, and the Bryan Adams was one of the $1 ones. Kind of a rip-off for that one, but yeah, the rest of these make up for it. We got Mr. Debbie Gibson, Samantha Fox, Billy Idol, 2 Billy Joels, and a Survivor. So I'm looking forward to playing some of these. Normally I don't buy pre-recorded tapes anymore because of the chance of getting these plastic welded garbage shells, but for this occasion I thought, since most of them were free, I thought I would just go ahead and take them. So take them I did. Anyway, on with the Denon here. I have been doing some work on this every now and then as I get the feeling I want to do any work on it, and I thought I'd show you exactly where it is now. As it sits, first off, the power supply's been completely recapped. I think completely recapped. I think there's still a few in there that are still older. I should probably get rid of those. Anyway, most of the caps are now Panasonic FR, and this big one is the other 10,000 microfarad cap I bought with the TIAC in mind. This takes the same value there as the TIAC did, so the V900X that is. So yeah, I bought 2 of them. This deck got one, the TIAC got the other. Anyhow, over here, the playback side of this had already been done with UKZ parts. That's them right there. All 4 of these are right in the playback chain directly after the playback head, and these have elevated this deck into something magical. It's amazing for playback now. But just recently, on Wednesday, I did the recording chain as well. So all of those have been done. You'll see these 2 blue ones there. Those are in the playback chain. Those are not the ones I did for recording. Most of the recording ones are UKZ. Like there's one right there. And there's a couple back in under there that you can't really see. And there's 4 of them right down in there. But yeah, you remember that auction I won with the 93 UKZ parts? Well, that value just happens to be what this deck needed most. And there's a couple of UKZ parts on the AutoCal board now too. But yeah, the AutoCal board, every capacitor, but I think 3 have been changed. I wanted to get the recording amplifier issue sorted out before I changed all of the caps, but that's probably coming now. Because, yeah, that one's an old one, and there's 2 old ones down under there that I haven't done yet. But yeah, all of these over here are in the audio chain, and they're all audio-grade caps. But to be clear, it's only the UKZ parts that I'm finding are actually better in any way for sound quality. The rest of these are just basically snake oil. Anyhow, I was kind of hoping the UKZ parts would fix the channel imbalance issue the recording chain has going on with this deck, but of course they didn't. Didn't really think they would anyway, but I have been doing some signal tracing ever since to try and track down the issue, and I think I'm getting real close now. Let me organize my printout here so I can show you what I checked and what I didn't check. Okay, first off, this side of the schematics. IC 106 and 206 right here are the last two chips in the recording chain before the signal goes into the potentiometers to adjust the record level, where I was having to compensate for drastically reduced levels on the right channel. So what I did first was I measured here at pin, what is it, 9, I think, on both chips with an equal signal going into the recording amplifier, and I found that the levels on both sides of these are equal. So the problem is after these two chips. Everything before these chips, all the way back to the line-in jacks, is fine. And that was important because, let me show you real quick here. I was still really nervous about the status of these op amps here. Like this one here, you can see how black the legs are. My concern was that this tarnish had managed to get itself in past the encapsulation on the IC and destroy the die connections inside. I have heard of that happening. And the problem with this deck is that particular op amp is used in at least 13 different locations in this deck. So if I would have had to replace the op amps, yeah, that adds up quick, especially since these ICs are no longer available new. So I was kind of looking for alternates I could swap in just in case this deck needed them, but I have been able to rule out all of those now, even though this one down here is the same IC, and it was one of the worst ones. So let's go back to the schematics real quick, and we'll talk about this some more. So the problem, as I found, is after the I can't talk or think today. Apparently, I can't talk either. Anyway, these two potentiometers here are the adjustments for the recording gain into the recording amplifier. And what I'm finding is the signal is hot coming out of VR202 right here. This is the right channel. The signal levels are not equal going out of these two controls. It's significantly higher going into VR202 because it's maxed out, because that's what you need to do in order to get the channel imbalance under control in this deck. So we know the problem is after that potentiometer. That's it right there. So the problem is between here and the recording heads. So what I did next was I checked IC 303 right here. It's a dual op amp, so 1/2 for each channel. And I tested the signal going into these op amp, into this op amp on each channel. I tested pin 3 and pin 5, I think. Yes. And I found out that with a hot signal coming in from the VR202 over here, this channel is still running low as reference to the other channel. So the problem is in between IC 303 and VR202. It has to be. Can't be anywhere else. So what I did from there was I did some more voltage measurements using the scope. I went to C250 here and C150, and I measured the levels going in, or the levels at either side there. And I got 200 millivolts coming into C250 and 168 coming into C150. So, yeah, I would expect that because the left channel is adjusted lower than the right channel. But look at this. Coming out of that, we get 136 millivolts on the left channel and 144 millivolts on the right. But the problem is, even with this hotter signal on the right channel, the level here was still lower than it should have been. So we are considerably narrowing this down now. Let's see if I can find a marker. And I have found a marker. So I am strongly thinking the problem is C250 here, R282 here, TR213 here, or this resistor here. I don't think it's any of the resistors. I've tested this one. It's good. C250 is, we come back over here, C250 is that one right there. It's a ceramic. It's probably not bad. So, where do we go next? Well, you might be thinking, check C312, that one right there. That one's been changed. It's not the problem. And you might be thinking, check C261 right there. That one's been changed. It's now a UKZ part. It is not bad. So where do I think the problem is? I think this is it right here, TR213. And we're going to confirm that in a second here. I'm going to fire up the soldering iron, and what we're going to do is we're going to change TR213 with TR113. And if that's the problem, what we're going to find is we're going to get a drastically reduced level on the left channel now, and the right channel will be fixed and maxed out. So we're going to do that on camera together right now. Okay, so we are about to desolder those two transistors and swap them around. I'll just get my solder sucker ready to go here, and hopefully we can do this. The iron really needs a new tip on it again, but I'm not going to do it right now. Kind of hard to work around Denon's plastic, fantastic tomfoolery over here, but it is what it is. Golly, this thing's having trouble soldering today. I'm starting to think my iron might be failing here. It's still not up to temperature. Usually it's not that slow to come up to temp. Okay, so I just put a new tip on the iron. The last new one I have, I think, so I'm going to have to order more. But, yeah, I don't know. Maybe I should replace the whole solder station. I'll show you what's going on here. It's having trouble keeping this light out. So the thermal regulation isn't quite there anymore in this solder station, it looks like. I don't know, maybe I could just get away with buying a new ceramic cartridge or something for it, I don't know. Anyway, let's see if we can get this job done here. Oh yeah, it's working. I've had this solder station for a long time now. Since pretty much the first day I started with JohnnyGuru.com, actually. Johnny Guru himself bought it for me, which I still appreciate to this day. Okay, we should be able to swap those now. I will not be able to show you what I'm doing here because it's really limited access here, but this is TR113 here. I'm going to lay it down up there, and I'm just going to swap 213 over. And this is all we're going to be doing on this deck today. If this doesn't fix the problem, I will go off camera for the rest of my part swapping, and there will be an update in a future video, probably. Maybe, I don't know. I might as well show you what these are, too. I believe these are, if the camera will focus. The camera is not focusing. Come on, you can do this. There. It's a 2SC603, I think. I don't think it's a 2SA603 because one's PNP and one's NPN, and I forget which this is, but it's... Yeah, I don't want to put the wrong transistor in. Okay, I got them in, so solder them down and see what we got, shall we? I'm at the very end of my spool of solder here, so that's why I'm having trouble finding it. The spool itself is gone. I'm just dealing with the remnants of it here. Oh, come on, solder. This thing's cooled off again or something. I don't know what's going on with it today. Yeah, I think my iron's busted. Do I have a backup soldering iron? Yes, but it's got really coarse tips on it, so I think I'm going to have to go get it, though, because this is not working. Poor old solder station just failed. Okay, backup soldering iron should be pretty well heated up by now. This is it here. It's a Radio Shack one that I bought new in like 1990 or something like that, so it's very old. The tip is not very good. I don't know if you can even see it, but yeah, it's seen better days, and I don't know where to get tips for this iron anymore, so haven't been available in a long time. Let's just say it that way. But if I can actually get this soldered, that's all we need to do on this deck. But yeah, the other deck is the CT-F615, and I hope I can get the solder station working again for that one, because trying to do that with this iron. So yeah, I'm going to have to... I don't know if I want to fix this solder station anymore. It's so old now. But I'm going to have to look for a Canadian supplier for the cheaper Chinese solder stations and see what I can find after this. This is a major expense I did not plan for, but my investments are actually doing okay again, so maybe we can do something. I'd like to get one of those fancy solder sucker stations, if I'm being totally honest with you. But yeah, it looks like the old 60 water from Radio Shack did the trick here. Just looking for any bridged connections, and I don't see any. Oh, what do I see there? Is that a cracked solder joint? Yes it is. But it's on the transistor for the left channel. So that's not explaining the right channel issues. I don't see any more cracked joints on the right channel. That's where we have our problems. But since the old Radio Shack iron is heated up anyway, let's go ahead and tackle those. Okay, did we find the problem? Well, we're about to find out. I've got the signal generator on the scope turned on now. We're going 440 Hertz at 0.4 volts peak to peak. Should be good enough. Let's set our record levels here. They are equal. I'm not going to bother with the autocal. We're just going to start recording here. And we'll go over to the tape side of this and we'll see what happens. There is more left channel than right now, but I don't know, this is inconclusive. Let me hook up the scope part of this and we'll see if the signal is actually equal there. I gotta apparently set that up again, so... Well, no I don't. We can do the signal trace idea with this instead. And we'll check pin 3 and 5 of the op amp and see what happens. So I need my probe, and I need an audio cable so I can grab a ground off this thing. Don't really need to connect anything to the line out here. I'm just using the audio cable for a ground. Thank you, Denon, with your all plastic fantastic construction here, but I'm very much looking forward to the DR-F3 and DR-F8 that's incoming, because those are metal construction and much better quality than what I feel I'm getting out of this. So go over to the scope part of this, and I got to start recording again, and it is recording. So let's see here. How can I do this so that you can see? Okay, we need pins 3 and 5 off the op amp. Pin 3 is 160 millivolts, and this will be on what channel? Not sure. Anyway, let's try pin 5. Wait, is that pin 5? No, this is pin 5. 136. Okay, so pin 3 was the right channel. And the right channel is 160. Actually, that might have been the problem. Yeah, because now the left channel's low. No, we don't want trigger level. We want more sensitive so we can actually see the waveform a little better. There it is, 152 millivolts on the right channel. And on the left channel, .136. Okay, the transistor is the problem then. It has to be. So let me shut this off. And I will order up some new transistors, hopefully. I'm not exactly sure what to replace these with because they're unobtainium now. Maybe I will find an interchange that'll work. Maybe I won't, and maybe I'll have to buy the original parts off of eBay or something. Anyway, we are getting a lot closer to having this deck working. I think the new transistors are going to fix it. But yeah, I gotta go see if I can find a solder station or something like that I can afford and see if I can get it here quick, because we got other stuff to do. But in the meantime, we'll try and fix up the Pioneer, but I'm just going to go look for solder stations right now and see what I can find. Then I'll report back once we get the next segment started. Well, after a maddening 2 hours of research and fighting through various websites, I've bought something for a new solder station. I'll show you what it is in a minute, but I was looking at the various options over there on AliExpress. I don't know why I went there first, but I did. I looked up that 4-in-1 solder station and immediately ruled it out. Reason being is it doesn't have the hot air side inside the base. It's contained in the handle, and those kind of tend to suck. So I'll show you what I've got now. A lot more effective. There's no fan in the handle or anything. It all comes out of the base unit. So I decided, well, since the hot air side of that thing still works, and since I'm planning on getting a new soldering handle anyway for it, just for redundancy, I decided, well, I'm going to cover all of my other bases instead. So that turned out to be maddening as well, because I had my eye on one station that I could have ordered direct from the manufacturer if they'd ordered, or if they shipped to Canada. But no, they have to say US only. And yeah, found the same station on Amazon Canada for $315, which was significantly more expensive than the manufacturer's site said. And I thought, well, if this is a third-party shipper from Canada, how long is it going to take to get here? So what I ended up doing was I ended up going right to DigiKey, and I bought this thing. This is the unpronounceable all vowels company, Aiwa, or however you pronounce it. Anyway, SRA Soldering Products sounds better, but yeah, I bought this station. And more than that, what I bought is the tweezer attachment for this. So I've now got hot tweezers coming as well. Basically, this station handles all that stuff. Soldering, desoldering, and hot tweezers. So hopefully that works good, because I don't know what kind of tips the iron on that thing uses, and hopefully it's the same tips that the old rework station uses, which are Hakko 900 series tips. But anyway, I'm aggravated. So, but yeah, we're gonna fix this Pioneer right now. I got the new motor here. It's the one that came with the TC-F615, and the new IC for the display driver is in this envelope here, and I hope it's gonna fix that problem too, because I would like to use this deck over Christmas. But yeah, who knows how long it would take AliExpress stuff to get here. I've already got something on order from them already as is. I've got a millivolt meter incoming as well. Probably should have waited on that, but I didn't know my solder station was going to fail on me in the course of this video, so there is that. So, am I upset about having to replace my soldering iron right now? Well, kinda yeah. I'm a little peeved. But I was kind of planning on doing this anyway next year, so we're just getting a little bit ahead of things here. And I'm just taking a look at these switches because I think I'm going to have to deal with these switches in another tape deck I've got incoming. Wonder how easy it is to clean those. Anyway, yeah, I was planning a solder upgrade anyway next year, because this, like I said, this station is old. I've had it since around 2007 or 2008 or something like that. It's done its hard time. It doesn't need to prove anything to me anymore. I will fix it, like I said. I'm still going to need the hot air side of it once in a while. But before we swap this motor, I want to make sure I remember which side is positive and negative. I think I got them right here, but no harm in double checking, is there? And yes, I did get it correct. So black wire's negative, red wire's positive, as usual. So this shouldn't be too hard to change, I would hope. But yeah, now that I've had to spend money, I'm kind of looking forward to the new solder station to come in. I'm going to have fun playing with it, I think, for a little while. And the problem with my old soldering iron here is that it's got its own cable that was being trapped by something under the table there. But yeah, the one thing I'm kind of hoping is that the new solder station will have a longer cable on the iron handle, because this is only about 3 feet long and it's constantly pissing me off. Okay, so the Sony motor made by Panasonic is in, and we're going to just test. It is running. Looks like we got her working. I should have remembered to clean the oil off first, but I did not. A little too easy to stop this pinch roller, I gotta say. I think I just had a little bit of oil on there because of me testing it and whatnot, but yeah, this is next. And to do this part of it, we have to desolder the VFD from the board, and I hope I don't damage anything, because this is a 60-watt iron and there's no temperature control. So yeah, I might try the solder station again, see if I can get it working well enough, but I'm just thinking it's dead at this point. So, power that off. Unplug. Now what do I got to do to get this out? Let's see here. Got a screw there and a push pin there, it looks like. All of these wires go to that, so we've got to free some of those up in order to do our work. I'll show you how this little push pin works in a second. Basically, you've got a pin that goes into one of these things and it just spreads apart the legs to clamp the board in place. So put that off to the side so I don't lose it. I might be able to just get it out from in behind if I free up the VFD and swivel it forward. I'd have to bend pins doing that. Well, I'll give it a try. I'm not wild about it, but we'll make an attempt. If I can do it this way, then I just won't bother trying to get the old solder station to work anymore. Because I think I can do everything with the old Archer iron here from Radio Shack, and this is the holder that holds the VFD in place. So yeah, if I bend it forward just a little bit, maybe we can do this. Okay, pin 1 is towards that resistor in there. Mustn't forget that. And I'm going to need to get something soft to hold that, just so I don't damage the VFD. Okay, shall we see if we can get this desoldered, this IC. I'm going to just sneak a pillowcase in under there and hope that gets her done. Get my desoldering stuff a little bit closer to the action, and we'll get started here. Of course, it's always nice to try not to set the pillowcase on fire that's underneath this thing. Oh, this is going to be a pain, I just know it. Why isn't that new solder station here yet? Oh, right, because I just ordered it. So now we get inside here and we try to get this IC out, which is going to be fun. Okay, one driver IC coming out, I hope. Still don't have quite enough room to get it out. Please don't break any of those pins, Self, on that VFD, because you're screwed otherwise. Okay, the old chip is a BA658, which is exactly what I ordered. Let me get the new one, and we'll just toss her in there. Not sure when you guys are going to be seeing this video. Probably not the week after I'm taping it, because I'm expecting the new Pioneer, well, the other Pioneer I just ordered anyway, to come in before then, but it's hard to say. And then the week after that is my birthday week, so that's going to be the old Akai. Alright, so I got that chip in. Solder boogers everywhere on this pillowcase here. Now, let's see if I can get it soldered correctly with this gigantic tipped iron here. I tell you what, guys, another couple of weeks of this and I'm going to be out of my mind. Please get here quick, new soldering station. Okay, I think we're done. Let me get out my isopropyl alcohol and we'll clean up the board a little before I attempt to test this. I don't know how I made do with that iron for so long. It was my main soldering device from the very early 90s, if not the late 80s, up until 2007. And I've been using that station ever since. Okay, shall we find out if that works? It's going to be easy. All we're going to have to do is just flip this over, fire the deck up, and play a tape. Let's see, where's my demo tape? Let me give it some power. Power on. We've got meter action. I don't care which EQ settings I'm using on the front. It doesn't matter if it's chrome or normal or what, because we're just testing to see if the meter works. No! Still doesn't work. What the hell? I'm going to wet finger the new IC. Okay, I replaced that for nothing, so what's the problem then? I think we're going to try some continuity checking to see if the traces are okay. That one is. That one is. So what is the deal? Why no IC drive? Okay, pin 16 goes to this, of this IC goes to this pot. Pin 16 of this IC goes to this one. Is the pot failed? It's a 10K. Try to get the meter where you can see it, as well as me. So let's just do some pot measurements here. Four kilo ohms there. 3.75 there. These are the adjustment pots for the meters. Just trying to figure out what's going on here. Just checking these two capacitors here just in case they're failed, but they don't seem to be. So what is the deal? Is audio just not coming into that, or what's going on here? Might have to get the scope out and do some more signal tracing on this. Okay, I'm going to try to do this on camera with you. I don't know if I can or not. Can hardly reach the controls right now, but I got to put the scope where I can see it, and hopefully where you can see it as well. But yeah, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the 440 Hertz tape I just recorded on the Denon DR-M3, and we're going to use that for the signal tracing. I don't want to get out my HPR tapes for this. Let's see, where's play again? There's play again. Okay, we've got left channel. Now I'm going to probe the area on the circuit board where that comes out. Hopefully find a signal here. That can't be right. Let's try at the meter itself first. Well, where's the signal? It's got to be here somewhere. There's clearly signal there if the meter's deflecting. So where the heck is the signal? Try DC coupling. I'm getting 120 millivolts there, DC. And something else over here. Okay, so some progress has been made off camera, and wish I'd realized this sooner, but this whole circuit works on DC, not AC. So what I've found is there is actually no signal going into the whole meter board for the right channel. For the left channel. I think, which one is it? It's giving me problems here. Yeah, for the right channel. And what I've found is the DC signal that's supposed to be going in there is barely above 0 volts. And it comes off this purple wire here. So I'm thinking maybe there's a problem with this transistor down here or some other component in this area. So I gotta pull the bottom off this dang thing and start looking, I guess. Okay, folks, I think I'm getting a little closer to the actual problem here. Probably not, but maybe I am. I think the problem is this diode right here. I'm getting about 1.2 volts out of the other side of it on this side, and the corresponding one on the left channel is down over here. I'm getting 4 volts out of that one. So I'm going to try changing this for a 1N4148, and then we'll see what happens. May fix it, may not. I actually don't think these transistors are bad at all. This is the one for the right channel. I checked them, at least in circuit, and it's fine, along with the other one. They measure identically, so it's either going to be this diode here, or it's going to be these capacitors, because they're all old. So, yeah, I'll try changing the diode, and we'll see if it brings the meter back on the right channel, and just, yeah, we'll see what happens. Okay, new diode in. Let's see what happens. Let's plug this thing in first, then see what happens. Do we get our meter back now? No! Of course not. It's never that easy. I'm starting to resent this thing. But I'll find it eventually. Let's just see if we can set you up here, and we'll check the voltages out of the new diode. Let's see, can you see where I'm probing? Okay, I need a ground from somewhere, and that's easy enough to find. Okay. Let's check the other diode first, the one for the left channel. Oh, we gotta play first, because we need the signal. 4.3 volts, and we'll try the new diode. 1.3 volts, so that's not the problem. Terrific. Let me check the service manual again, and we'll continue to trace backwards till we find this. Okay, so C249 and 149 are the next to check. They're directly in the signal path before those two diodes. I'm going to rewind the tape just a bit so we can make sure the signal doesn't run out while we're probing. Okay, so this is 149 here. 1.36 volts that side. What about the other side? 11.3 volts. So the next one is over here. Ooh, millivolts. What about the other side? 1.3 volts. Well, that can't be right. Am I measuring the right capacitor on the other side? But I'm getting 1.3 on one side and nothing on the other side. Okay, 1.5 volts on this side, and oh, come on, where's the other lead? 11.3 volts. Okay, so that was the wrong capacitor. So we'll check this other capacitor. 4.2 volts one side and nothing on the other side. So, okay, I'm confused again. What the heck? Okay, folks, I finally found the problem. Let me show you what I got on the meter first, and then I'll show you what the problem was. Look at that. Meter's fixed. Got to recalibrate now, but meter is fixed. The problem is, surprise, 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 that guy right there. 47 microfarad, 25 volts. It is a coupling capacitor between the audio output and the meter circuit. And it goes right there. We've got a couple of capacitors connected back to back in this circuit. This is one of them here. I changed that one first. Zoom you in first. The reason I changed that one first is because I was getting really inconsistent readings off there. The one side had no volts and the other side had, well, it was just kind of jumping around on the meter. On the multimeter, that is. And I thought, well, there's only one part in between that and the audio signal, and that is this capacitor. So I changed it, and voila, we got a working meter. You'll see I've changed other capacitors in the circuit. There's these two back here. These are now fine gold, or I think they are anyway. But they're the only values, or the only caps I had in that value. They're 0.47 microfarads. So yeah, probably going to have to recap the rest of this now. But as of right now, the deck is working. Finally. I only had to change one unnecessary part in behind the meter, that IC. So yeah, this thing's going to have to get a full recap now. But how's about we test this capacitor and see what it measures on various different meters I've got. Let me unplug this first and whatnot. I'll do more recapping off camera. Maybe another time even, because I've wasted a lot of time on this today, but whatever. Let's just kind of move this out of the way. And we will set you guys up here. And where is my tweezers? Here they is. We'll just check with the tweezers. This should be all we need to do for confirming this one's bad. Okay. What a surprise, it's bad. 664 picofarads and counting, 99 kiloohms ESR. It's dead. It is very, very, very dead. And yeah, this is what I was encountering in the Denon DR-M3 as well. There were a lot of these Nippon Chemicon parts in the signal chain that were going really high ESR. And yeah, the DR-M3 sounds amazing now. So I'm debating whether or not to do an actual record play test once I actually get the parts in to fix that deck. But I don't know. I would kind of rather not do that. So yeah, this is the problem with the Pioneer CT-F615. So got her fixed now. So I'm gonna recalibrate off camera and do all the other fun stuff off camera, because it's gonna take me forever to get it done, I'm sure. But finally got this thing fixed. Anyhow, guys, I'll see you in the next video. Take care.